this is Regina at Count Station Honey Farm. I've had so many people ask me how I make the cottage cheese. So tonight I wanted to show you how to get started. And then you can and tomorrow I'll show you how to finish it up. Now my milk, and I told you that sometimes I don't use, since it's just Bruce and I don't use a whole gallon of milk sometimes, and it starts to go south. So when that happens, instead of me just throwing it out, which I'm not going to do, I take and put my milk and make cottage cheese out of it. So I'm going to take my milk and I'm just going to put it in a pan. And I'm just using a regular Dutch oven. It's just my non-stick. It's nothing really any special. Oh. Now, yes, Holmes, you'll get a drink, okay? Now, the next thing I got to do is this. You have to take and make sure that your buttermilk is between 75, or not buttermilk, but your milk is between 75 and 80. So, I've got one of these little digital thermometers. And it's a handy little deal because it gives you the reading right at the time. So just put this down into your milk. So let's see what it's going to be. Now I put my milk out when I got back from the radio station today because I wanted to get room temperature. Well, it's right now 66. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the stove and just low for a few minutes. And when I get it up to 75, I'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to do then, okay? Okay, I want to show you this too. It's just a digital thermometer, and you can either have Celsius on there or you can have Fahrenheit. If you know your Celsius, you can use it. I know Fahrenheit better, so I'm going to use this. You want this to be between 75 and 80, which is still cool, but it's not cold. And you have to have that for your cottage cheese to set up. So I have got perfect 78. So what we're going to do is I've got my buttermilk that I got out of my buttermilk that I made, and I'm going to put it into my milk. And I'm just going to stir it real good. Now, I tell you what I didn't put in this that I'm going to have to put in it. So, I've got to get my Renton. So, I'll be back in just a second.
Set. Now.
Okay, I'm going to put in 1/4 of a tablet of junket. It's called rennet. And what it does is our parents and grandparents use this for their ice creams and custards and things like that. And so what we've got to put this into our cottage cheese. You can get this any place. In the ice cream section in Kroger's. If not, you can get it on the internet. I mean, you can get it any place. So that's what it is, junket. It's just rennet tablets. Okay, now one rennet tablet is marked off into 4 little sections. All I need is just 1/4 of that little section. So I'm going to drop it down. I have got 2 tablespoons of just tepid warm water in there. So I'm going to drop it in there. Now, your other little piece, don't throw that away because you can save that and use it. Just take and put it back into your I keep mine in a little bag. It lasts virtually forever, so you don't have to worry about it. And that little box has like 8 tablets in it, so you figure if you take and use 1/4 of a tablet, gosh, you know. So what we're going to do, we have to put this in here, so just make sure it's stirred up good. See, just warm water, that's all that's in here. 2 tablespoons. Now, just take and gently drizzle it in there and stir it in. Okay. Just swirl it around good, just so you mix it up. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to cover this and I'm going to set it on the stove all night. And then when I get up tomorrow morning, I'll see if I can cut the curd, and then we'll go from there, okay? So tomorrow morning, which will be, I get up at 8 and not before, I'll take, and it'll be 12 hours. So, see you then. Hi. Okay, our cheese, we've let it set to a curd, and what that means is it's just ready for us to cut. You've got like a heavy layer of your cheese, which is just your curd. You've heard the old nursery rhymes where little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. Okay, it's what we got, it's curds and whey. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut our curds. Then we're going to stick it on the stove, and we're going to take our thermometer, our digital thermometer, and we're going to cook it up till it becomes 110 degrees. We're going to keep it there from 30 minutes, and then we're going to drain it down. So let me show you how you're going to cut the curds. Now, I did a few cuts earlier because I wanted to see if it was ready, which it was, by the way. Get this cut. To the sides. Now see the water that was coming up here? That's your whey. Now I'm not going to throw that away, because you can take and you can also take, I'm going to feed it to the chickens because I don't need this today. But what you can do is you can take and make your cakes and things out of it. It's really good stuff, but I just don't need that today. So what you want to do, you want to cut it up into about inch blocks. So we're going to take this to the stove, and we're going to start cooking it. And like I say, now remember, we're going to cook it to 110 degrees. Make sure you keep your little thermometer on there, because you don't want it to go higher. You don't want it to go a lot lower. This is going to set your curds, and then we're going to drain it. See you in a second. Okay, now we have got our cottage cheese. We cooked it down at 110, around there, for 30 minutes. Now what you're doing is you're trying to get your cottage cheese or your curd set. So this is what you're going to end up with. You can see your little cottage cheese, and then you can see your yellow whey. So what we're going to do now is we have to drain our cottage cheese. Now, what I've done here is I've just got a pan, because I want to save my whey, because sometimes I cook with it, but today I'm just going to give it to the chickens because it helps with protein. So I've got my colander, and I'm going to lay down. Now this is just a plain flour sack tea towel. Now you can use cheesecloth if you want. I find that the holes in the cheesecloth is way too big, and so you lose some of your curd. You know, I like cottage cheese. I wouldn't want to lose my curd. So what we're going to do now is we're going to strain the cottage cheese, the curd, from the whey. So this is where I do have a bit of problem, but pour just gently into it, taking your time to allow it to go through. Now I like some of my curd to be a little larger, and some of it small in my cottage cheese. I don't like it all uniform, so you know, a lot of times when you buy the brand cottage cheese in the store, they all look like they're almost uniform. This will not. So, but it tastes twice as good. So, oh well. Let it drain. Let it drain. It really looks pretty down the pan. Shame you can't see that. It really looks nice in there. You'd say, Regina, you did a good job with that. I'll set myself. Plop, plop. lightly splashy. And if you can figure out a way to keep that from happening, you may want to let me know. Thank goodness God made paper towels. Oh, almost broke my cookie jar. Okay, it's all in. Now, we're just going to take and let this drain, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, now we've got the curds and we've drained most of that off, the whey off. So now what we need to do is we've got to get our cottage cheese cold. Plus you got to wash it because you want to get most of the whey out because that's what's going to make it into a solid cheese. So you're going to wash it. What you do is you just gently kind of agitate it. You don't squeeze and you know, break up all of your little cottage cheeses. So that's what you're going to do, and you want to get as much of the whey out of this as you can, because like I say, this is what makes a lot of people, you know, with the solid cheeses. So you're going to just wash it and kind of work it a little bit, get as much out as you can, and you'll see that your water, and it's going to be difficult for you to see, but your water will be not as clear as what you started out. It's going to have a little cloudy color, cloudy. So we're going to get this agitated and moved around, and then we're going to finish draining. And then after that, we'll show you your finished product. Now, you can see by the bowl, our cottage cheese, we drained all of that out. Now, there's two ways you can go now. For one thing, if you do not like salt or you can't have salt, you don't have to salt it. Salt's going to preserve it and make it last in your refrigerator a little longer. Plus, it'll give a taste to it, a salty taste that we are used to in our stores. It's up to you. You're making it. So what I'm going to do is, Bruce and I like salt. I've got non-iodized salt is all this is. I'm going to take, and first of all, I'm going to put just a teaspoon of it in there. Sprinkle it in. And then just stir it up good to find out if it's going to be salty enough for us. Now, of course, you got to taste that to find out. So, no, I'm going to have a little bit of salt for it, more salt. So I'm going to put like a half a teaspoon more. That's perfect. Now, if you want your cottage cheese dry, that's fine. A lot of people like that because that's the way their moms or their grandmas done that. However, we like our cottage cheese creamy. So I've got a little bit of cream in my cup. I'm just going to add it to my cottage cheese. Now, don't go adding a whole lot because you don't need a whole lot, because your cottage cheese is going to be creamier anyway than what you get at the store. It is a pretty good cottage cheese. You see all the different size little curds. I might have used 2 tablespoons. Is every bit that I used in this. You can see. See how creamy. Good. Let me show you the finished product. Okay. Here's your final product. And I had some peaches. I opened some of those, and I put a little cottage cheese down. Yummy. That is really good. And I put a little pepper on there because that's how Bruce likes it. And so, now, let's get a taste of this. Here you go. No, you take a taste of this. Come on. Say good.
Good.
Yay. Okay. Thanks. This is how you make your cottage cheese. If you have any questions or you need for me to write down the exact instructions for doing it, let me know and I'll do that. And hopefully you can make your own cottage cheese and you're going to find that your family really loves it. And it's not that much trouble. So see you guys later.